Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live session of candle making. So, we're going to be using our very own home candle making kit to create candles together. So, this is a very fun way to ignite a new hobby, or if you have an existing passion for candles and nice scents, this is the perfect start for you guys. All right, so let's get started. We have all the items that we need on the table today. So, we have the jar, candle jar, okay? So in the jar, we have our rope wick, as you can see. All right. So we're going to be using two wicks for this candle because it's based on the diameter of the actual jar. All right. So this will allow the candle to burn a little slower, allow that fragrance to really pull through. All right. So I'm going to show you guys how to stick the wick at the base of the candle. I've already got one in here. I'll stick another one. Try not to place it too close together so it really burns evenly throughout the candle. All right. So you'll have a bunch of stickers, circular stickers just like this. You're going to stick it at the base of the metal clasp here. It is a little sticky. All right. And then we're going to stick that at the base of the jar. So just a little space there. So it should look something like this. You'll have two wicks there. All right. All right. Once that is done, let's get into our wax. So while we're doing this, you can actually start boiling the water. So we're going to be using like a double boiling method here. Okay, you can start boiling your water in your boiling pot, and we're going to measure 150 grams of soy wax. You can also use beeswax. I know some people prefer that. It's completely up to you what kind of texture you prefer, right? So today we're using soy wax. So as you can see, I've put some in my melting pot over here, and we're just gonna weigh it out. Make sure we've got 150 grams there. Yep, that looks good. All right. So get ready to place it over your boiling water. So the good thing about this melting pot, which I really love, is there's this little clasp here. So you don't really have to hold on to it the whole time over the boiling water. You can just place it there, do your own thing, relax. It's all good, yeah? So just place it over. Be careful not to burn yourself. Yep. And now we just wait for this wax to melt over the double boiler. So we're gonna wait until the wax hits 79.5 degrees Celsius, all right? So just let it melt first. You can use this handy spoon to stir it around. It is a very satisfying process, I'm not gonna lie. So if you're feeling stressed or just down, it's very stressful these days, so much going on in the world. This really helps just to let loose, take deep breaths, stir it. It's melting already. It's melting pretty fast, actually. So it's pretty smart to pre-boil your water, I feel, so you don't have to waste too much time standing around. All right. So today, in this live, we're going to be using lavender oil, actually. So it's lavender fragrance oil. We're going to be using this as our scent for the day. So lavender is really, really great for reducing feelings of stress, anxiety, and it also helps if you have problems with sleep. If you suffer from insomnia or you just have a lot on your mind at night, this will really help. Just light it up, take a whiff. It really is very, very calming. It promotes wellness. All right. So yeah, lavender, guys, it's good stuff. Yeah, this wax is melting really, really fast. It's so satisfying. I'm not joking. You guys have to try it. Yeah, it tends to get stuck on the spoon. It's all good. Yeah. Yep, I've got tissue here. So it is a messy job sometimes, no worries. We just keep things clean, yeah? Okay, so what makes a candle unique? What makes a candle unique is the fragrance. So there are so many different types of fragrances that you can use in these candles. Um, if you're one like me who believes in healing candles, chakra candles for spiritual reasoning, um, there are so many different fragrances that unlock different chakras in the body. So, for example, for your root chakra, that chakra that helps you feel grounded, empowered, you can use a red currant scent. There's also sandalwood to promote like self love, compassion for others. If you're feeling a little angsty that day, you can use sandalwood. Even lemon zest If you're feeling like particularly like your brain is just all over the place, you're frazzled, you can use lemon zest to help clear and aid a clear mind. Yeah. All right. So this is melting very fast. So just keep stirring, okay? Make sure you get rid of any clumps in the wax. We want smooth wax before we pour it into the jar. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's pretty, it's melting. Yeah. So I think you can just give that a couple more minutes to fully melt. If you have big clumps, you can just kind of use your spoon or like a spatula to kind of break it down. Yeah. The clumps can be a little stubborn sometimes, so it might take a little long, but you can just break it with the spoon. And just keep stirring. Make sure the consistency is there. All right. So another fun fact about candles, guys. So did you know candle light, the actual light of the candle, it symbolizes birth, resurrection, and this sacredness. Yeah. So basically, what it does is it actually represents like the light amidst the darkness. I know it's very deep, but yeah, even just staring at a candle flame can bring on this new feeling inside that you might not consciously be aware of, but you slowly feel like you're seeing the light. You're seeing like a bright future ahead. So it is very therapeutic, lighting candles and just relaxing. Okay, it's melting pretty fast. We're just waiting for the bigger clumps to break down now. So yeah, once the wax has melted, it should give off this really like oily looking consistency. Yeah. All right. So we're just gonna keep waiting for it to break down. So we have a thermometer, yeah, in our kit. You're gonna wait until your wax actually hits 79.5 degrees Celsius. All right. So water is boiling. Just gonna keep stirring it, and you can just keep taking the temperature. And when it hits 79.5 degrees Celsius, that's when we're going to remove the melting pot from the double boiler. Yeah, so as you can see, it actually melts pretty fast, the wax. It's just the clumps generally take a bit longer. So another method is before, when you pour the wax, when you're weighing it out, you can actually just use your hands or a spoon to break the wax out first, just so it melts faster. Just a little bit more to go, guys. Yeah, lavender is really, really good, guys. You feel very relaxed, very calm. It really brings on a whole new mood. All right, we're almost there. All right, grab the thermometer. I'm going to turn it on. All right. So there's this little sharp point which we're going to put in the wax to measure the temperature. We're going to set it to degrees Celsius. Remember 79.5. That's when we're going to remove the melting pot off the water. All right. Steam. Okay, we're at 52.6 right now. Getting there. Okay, it's at 79, which I think is good enough. Yeah. So 79 to 79.5, all right? Oops. Sorry, dropped my thermometer. Okay, so you can just grab like a cloth or a tissue so you don't mess up your countertop. And there we go. If you guys want to take a look, kind of looks like this. It's a little oily. All right. Sorry, let me just grab my thermometer really quickly. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, just turn off the boiling water. And now we're just going to wait. Okay, we're going to wait for the wax to reach around 74 degrees Celsius. And then we're going to pour our fragrance oil. So, fragrance oil, I would honestly recommend around 15 milliliters if possible, because then you're really going to get that smell. Anything less, I feel like it's a little mild. So, if you want a stronger smelling candle, I recommend at least 15, okay? So, back to degrees Celsius. Just let the wax cool a bit, yeah? So we're gonna hit 74 degrees Celsius before we stop pouring our fragrance oil in. So let's just take a quick measure. And yeah, before I forget, in terms of the rope wick that we use for the candle, if we are using this jar, which we do provide in the kits that we have here, you do want to cut the rope to at least around 6 to 6.5 cm so that we can use this wooden top to close it just nice. All right, so there's nothing, it's not too long, it's not too short. Okay. And yes, I do recommend putting in the wick before we pour the candle in because then it's just going to be too messy after that. Okay, we're at 74.2. Let's just let it cool for another 5 seconds or so, or 10 seconds maybe. Yeah, so please do not put like the wax in like a cooler or a fridge or anything. Let the cooling process happen naturally because you will affect the balance of it. Okay, so when it hardens, it's not going to be the same correct texture that we want. Okay, so again, we're looking for 74 degrees before we pour the lavender essential oil in. So it's important to try to be as accurate as you can with these measurements, just so the balance of the candle is just right, all right? We don't want the texture to be too oily because we put it in too fast. And the reason why we want the wax to cool down before we pour our oil instead of pouring it while it's on the boiler is because when it's on the boiler, it will evaporate super fast and you will not get that fragrance in nice, all right? So this is really going to help boost the smell of the candle. So let's pour it in. Uh, you can either do it slowly with drops, or if you want to do it a little faster, I just like to open up the bottle and just pour it in slowly. Don't pour it all in at once. All right, what we're gonna do is just pour it in batches and slowly, gently stir it in, okay? We're gonna stir for at least 1 to 2 minutes, okay? So just slowly pour it in batches. Yep, I can smell it already, you guys. Lavender. Amazing. Yep, so you can see it in there. So we're just gently stirring it in to make sure it gets all up in the wax, all right? So we want the wax to be soaked with the fragrance oil before we pour it in. Just got a little bit more to go. Also, just make sure to use different utensils for when you're mixing the wax when it's melting and when you're mixing in the fragrance oil, all right? We don't want like tiny pieces of hardened wax to go in. And let's just pour the rest. So this is 15 ml, okay, guys? And let's just stir it in for another 30 seconds or so. Yeah, this is really satisfying. So when you like look into it, it kind of looks like liquid gold. Yeah. Very pretty. And smells amazing. So you guys have to try this really. You just have to experience it to know what I'm talking about. It smells so good. Okay. So with all that stirring, we've probably allowed the wax to cool a little bit. But we do need to let it cool all the way down to 63 degrees before we pour it into the jar. This is a glass jar, so we don't want any cracks by pouring anything too hot inside, yeah? So like I said, we're letting this ride out naturally, no putting in any cooler or refrigerator, none of that. Just let it cool properly by itself. Has this really pretty gold color right now. All right, let's just check. So 63 degrees Celsius, all right, before we pour it into our candle jar. The room smells amazing right now. Yeah, I'm feeling very calm. So this is definitely working for me. In terms of after we pour the wax into the candle jar, for it to fully set, I would say give it 2 to 3 days. So place it in nowhere too hot or dark. Allow it to rest at room temperature for at least 2 3 days. I think would be best. Try not to move the jar around as it can affect the cooling and setting process. Also, yeah, just make sure room temperature, nowhere too cold, nowhere too hot. And then you can light it up anytime after the 3 days. I think it would be good. Obviously, if you keep it for at least a week, the fragrance is able to absorb a little bit more. So when you burn the candle, there will be a stronger scent. Okay, it's at 58 degrees Celsius. So that is way below 63. We can pour it into our candle jar now. All right. So candle jar, melting pot. Okay, I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like. It's a really nice liquid gold color. Can you see that? Very pretty. Right. Okay, so if you have a little excess, that's completely fine. I'm not going to pour it too high just because our wicks is almost reaching the top of the wick and we want it to be able to burn nicely. Maybe just pour a little bit more. All right, that looks good. Okay, now what's going to happen is we're going to let that set for at least 2 to 3 days before we do anything. All right, so keep it somewhere with a nice room temperature. If you want to close it, that's fine too, or you can leave it open, up to you. But try not to move the jar around too much. All right, and yeah, that's about it for actual candle making itself. Thank you guys so much. I'll let you guys take a look at our actual kit right now. All right, this is the kit that we have here. Everyone can see it. So it has all the items that we used today, pretty much all of it. Okay, so there is a checklist over here with all the items that you're gonna need. So you're not gonna be lost. Don't worry about it. We have most of the items already in here, but you might need like maybe the boiling pot or something, which I'm sure you have at home in your kitchen. So that should be fine. All right. And behind this checklist, we have a step-by-step instruction guide. So I know watching this live you might be thinking like, oh, I can't remember all of this. It's too much. It's okay. There is an instruction guide here for you guys. So no worries. Okay. You can just go through it slowly. All right. We have the candle jar for you guys as well. It's the classic white one, just like this. Very nice. It has a nice wooden top. Very aesthetically pleasing. Minimalist design. Love it. All right. And we've got the melting pot for y'all as well. So we have the wax over here. So this is exactly 150 grams of soy wax. So we have that covered for you. And we have the melting pot for you guys as well with the clasp. So very handy. This is really, really very handy. And we have a thermometer for you guys as well. So you don't need to go out looking for one. All covered. This measures in Fahrenheit and degrees Celsius as well. And then we have the essential oils for you also. So it's 15 milliliters of essential oil along with the wick and the wooden clasp and the sticker to stick on the base of the candle jar. So yeah, if you really enjoyed today's live and you're really interested in making your very own candle, I would highly, highly, highly suggest you guys buy your very own homemaking kit. Super convenient and very pretty, and the box is great too. You can use it for other things as well. You can order it via our link below. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Natasha, and I hope you will come join me again next time. Thank you.